no one saw this coming. Anybody that we spoke to and everybody that we spoke to said that they did not see this coming. It reached to a stage where nobody could understand what was going in the mind of this alleged murderer, Aaftab Poonawala. And there are some revelations that are now coming to the fore which are extremely gory, extremely shocking, and they give you a sneak peek into the psyche of a psychopath that this man has turned out to be, something that none of his friends, none of his colleagues would have imagined. And we're going to put out those revelations for you of what exactly was going on inside the mind of this murderer. He allegedly confessed to the police that strangling Shraddha was easy. That was not the difficult part. He said disposing of the body was where he hit a roadblock. Revelation number 2 as far as this case goes. He physically assaulted Shraddha in the days that were leading up to death. The friends that we've spoken to of Shraddha said that she often told them that this was an abusive relationship. He emotionally blackmailed her to not end the relationship, because what we learned is that Shraddha wanted out. She didn't want to be in this toxic relationship, but he emotionally blackmailed her for her to stay on. He then dated other women while Shraddha's chopped up body parts, her limbs, were in the fridge in his apartment. He was on a dating app where he met several women who were coming and going in and out of his apartment, the same apartment where there were body parts lying inside a fridge. That goes on to show you the kind of mentality this man would have. He then shifted Shraddha's body to the bathroom to chop her limbs off after he strangulated her and killed her. He also web searched how to clean blood and human remnants. He wanted to be meticulous about it after he had actually strangulated her. Revelation number 7. He then dumped body parts in thickly forested areas to avoid detection. So he lived in Mehroli. He then went to the forested area of Chhatarpur, where he did take the police this morning as well, so they could recreate the scene of crime and find the remaining body parts. He dumped the parts in one place and he dumped the bag that was used to carry them in a place elsewhere, so that it would be difficult to draw a link between the two. Revelation number 9, from what we've learned from our sources within the investigating agency, is that he used incense sticks and deodorants to keep the foul smell away from home. Because remember, he was dumping these body parts in the middle of the night every single day for 18 long days. That bound to have created some sort of foul smell. He took care of that as well. And revelation number 10 is that he cut Shraddha's body into small pieces to not alert any rat pickers around this dump site, which was this forested area near Chhatarpur. So he planned this meticulously and then dumped the body parts over a span of 18 long days. How he did it, where all those parts are, all of that is now being investigated. And we have more breaking news now coming in as far as the investigation and the forensic analysis is concerned. Sources are now telling your channel that roughly 10 to 12 dismembered bone pieces have now been picked up by the Delhi FSL, who is beginning this investigation as far as the DNA testing is concerned. Remember, there have been samples that have been taken by the forensic team of the father as well, so they can match it to the remnants that have been found by them at this particular dump site. Anvit, my colleague who was reporting from the Chhatarpur crime scene, or from the dump site where Aaftab Poonawala was also taken this morning by the police, is now joining us live, getting us the latest as far as this investigation goes. What have you gathered from your sources within the forensic team, Anvit?
See, Poonam, forensics team have received some samples and they had collected it from the house as well as from the place where the body parts were dumped, and they are telling us that they have received some parts of dismembered bone which they are yet to identify whether they belong to a human. And once this is clarified, then the sample of the father that has been taken, these bone samples will be matched with that of the father's for DNA profiling, so that it can be confirmed that these are remains of Shraddha's body. Also, when we spoke to some senior officials in the FSL, they have told us that it is a very difficult process to extract DNA from bones, particularly from such bones. This murder took place 6 months ago. Bones must also have dried up, and the bone marrow would have completely dried up. So it will be a very difficult process to extract it first and then send it for further examination. This process, the officers are telling us that it might take more than a fortnight to extract it and then send it for examination and then match it with the father's DNA. this process will take time. So at least a fortnight or 20 days will take before we can access this report and then put out details further from the DNA profiling for our viewers. But so far, as far as the investigation is concerned, like you mentioned, they had brought this man to this forested area, and this is actually the PWD land which has grown into a forested area. It's a wide area spread to at least a kilometer and more than that. Now they had brought him here because this is the area where he had thrown all the parts. You can see this is the main road that divides this forested area from the Chhatarpur's residential area, which is across the road. That is the area where this man Aaftab Poonawala used to live. His house is approximately 800 meters from here, and he used to walk down every night all the way from there to cross the road, and then through this broken wall he used to enter this forested land and scatter the severed body parts of Shraddha. At his instance, police have taken him today to different spots where he has claimed to have thrown these body parts, and based on the recovery that has been made, police will further tighten a case against him so that a watertight case can be filed and the charge sheet accordingly can be filed to start a fair trial in this matter.
Right, so the investigation